Tuesday, the 22nd of February 2005, and after a flight from Johannesburg to Victoria Falls, we were picked up and taken to the Zambezi River Lodge. President Mugabe was not a fan of the BBC and the terrible stories it told about him, and I was just a little worried that there might be a problem when we reached Zimbabwe. But nobody cared. The hotel was in a very picturesque setting on the banks of the Zambezi River. It's all thatched with a large swimming pool from which you can look out across the river. But Zimbabwe is not a happy place these days, and as a consequence, the hotel was almost deserted. There seemed to be no more than about half a dozen people here in this 83-roomed hotel. This was our room at the end, upstairs, nearest the river, and with a nice view from the balcony. But the room was small, and we had to do a little organising, like putting a small armchair out of the way in a cupboard. We were here for 2 nights at Victoria Falls and seemed to have a busy schedule organised. On our first evening, we went to an African dance show in the nearby village. The place was empty when we arrived, and to begin with, there were only 5 people in the audience when the show started. Another 7 or 8 did turn up later. Obviously, the Zimbabwe tourist business is not in good shape at the moment. When the show was over, a few of the performers came over to talk to us. There weren't many of us there, and the evening hadn't cost very much. But they said that without us going there and supporting them, they'd be dead. The next morning we had an early start to go to the falls, and saw the statue of, who else? Dr. Livingstone. A walk took us through the rainforest to see various sections of the falls. They were stunning and in full spate, but the spray from the falls was so intense that it was often falling like heavy rain. Even when we put waterproofs on later, it still seeped in everywhere. The Victoria Falls are roughly about twice the height of Niagara Falls in North America, and well over twice their width at over 1,700 metres. And the Zambezi drops into a single vertical chasm about 108 metres deep. This is just the first gorge down which the river flows. The next two are just 250 and 600 metres away, and can really only be seen properly from the air. It was Cecil Rhodes in about 1900 who pushed forward plans for the first bridge over the Zambezi, and he insisted that it should be built over the second gorge where the spray would fall on passing trains. We took a bus to see a preserved traditional village. On the way there we stopped at a shop and bought 2 bottles of water and a newspaper. The price came to $3. I handed over a $10 note and received in change 47,000 Zimbabwean dollars. David wanted to buy a new mini DV tape for this recorder, but they were 4 times the UK price, so we told them to keep it. And then in the village, we saw some familiar faces. In the afternoon, it was time for our trip to a crocodile farm. We were almost the only visitors, and we started in the nursery, where the very young ones were being reared. They may have been tiny, but they had teeth like needles.
We feed them on minced meat, the side.
In different tanks there were crocodiles at various stages of development.
It takes them to about 16 to 20 years in the wild to reach that size, but 10 to 12 years in captivity because of regular feeding. And crocodiles, they only reproduce once every year.
We didn't see the commercial section of the farm, but were told that there were about 30,000 crocodiles being farmed there for their skin and meat.
A female crocodile lays about 50, so that their teeth will be black. They won't do much. Yeah, we dot them. Yeah, we just neutralize.
How do you do the teeth?
You open up the mouth and just using the teeth out.
Yeah.
There were other so-called attractions at the farm, like this cheetah. Sad to see after the ones we'd seen on safari.
Did you see the cheetah?
Yeah.
There was also a huge Komodo dragon with its baby. But what they're doing here, goodness knows, they're native to Indonesia, not Africa.
Crocodiles, the longest distance you can try to run about 8 to 10 meters. Anyone can run away from it.
The luckiest crocodiles had a lake to swim in, and weaver birds had taken up residence in the reeds around it.
Right, so this is the biggest male we have here, and he's 71 years old. Staying here with 12 females, one male and 12 birds and ostriches are there. In that, they take in some small stone, to help their digestion. So when crocodiles are by the end of the day, the tail will be heavier than the rest of the body. So those stones will lie next to about 500 meters.
Crocodiles often stay like this with their mouths wide open as a way of cooling down. But there's another reason as well. Sometimes they get their teeth cleaned by small birds which pick out bits of meat there.
And on the road.
Also at this farm were one leopard, a Cape vulture with a broken wing, one ostrich, and 2 lions, one of which appeared to have mange.
We probably thought we were ruining his chances of a kill because of the noise of the cut.
We were shown a feeding demonstration, which was obviously just being done to amuse us, the visitors.
Of the fitting shop. So this is the end of our fitting demonstration.
The 2 lions were then thrown large chunks of meat, but didn't exactly look enthusiastic about it. They looked sad specimens compared with the wild ones we'd seen on safari.
It's just like a domestic cat, isn't it? It doesn't have to rush at it because it knows there's no predators.
Then it was back to the Zambezi River and board a boat at our hotel for a sundowner cruise. We were given dry white wine, lots of it, and nibbles, while we floated up and down and across the Zambezi. There were plenty of other boats doing the same. There were half a dozen or so hippos in the water, but we saw little of them apart from the tops of their heads. Back at the hotel, at dinner, there was lightning flashing in the distance, and it rained for a while. But luckily it stopped, and we were treated to some incredible dancing and singing from a group of over a dozen Zulus. They were amazingly energetic and enthusiastic. Well, we weren't expecting that entertainment at dinner. Today, though, it's time to fly home, but not before David has his birthday present, a 30-minute helicopter flight over Victoria Falls, for which we had to drive over the border into Zambia. I won't begin to pronounce the local name for the falls, but when translated it literally means the smoke that thunders, and here you can see why. There were 6 people going on this helicopter ride. David bribed our bus driver to make sure that we were first on and had the 2 front seats with the best views. It meant that we really had our money's worth out of the trip. And we flew first over the treetops to the Zambezi, then down along at low level along the gorge, twisting and turning as we followed the river, which was narrow but incredibly deep in places. Back at the border again, our passports had to be checked before we could cross the bridge and return to Zimbabwe. There are some memories that stick with you forever, and I have to say that this holiday has been packed with them.